Good morning. This is Unit 7, Lesson 11, and we're moving on to points on the coordinate plane. So we're going to be exploring the coordinate plane. You guys have seen the coordinate plane, and this is just quadrant 1. That's what they call them, where everything is a positive. So these are positive numbers, and those are positive numbers. But you have not actually been exposed to all 4 quadrants. So that is what we are going to be doing today as well. I am also going to be hopefully getting a foldable that you will be able to make at home and do an instructional guide or an instructional video on that for lesson 11 and lesson 12. All right, so for the warm-up for today, it says guess my line. So the directions are choose a horizontal or a vertical. So remember, horizontal is left and right, or vertical line, which is up or down. On the grid, you need to draw 4 points on the line and label each point with its coordinates. Now, obviously, this is going to be a little bit harder for you if you don't have any graph paper. So what I would just like you to do is in your notebook, go ahead and just draw a vertical line, a horizontal line, and then number 1 through 15 and 1 through 10. And then just draw the line and then pick your points. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this is not the only answer. This question actually has a number of answers, but if you picked a horizontal one, and then I'm just going to pick 4 points on it. So I'm going to put a point here, a point here, a point here, and a point here. So the coordinates, we always do x first. So this always comes first, and then this comes second. So we went 2 over and 3 up. This one we went 5 over and 3 up. This next one we went 8 over, 8 to the right, sorry, and 3 up. And this last one we went 11 to the right and 3 up. What do you notice about all of the numbers? They all have one that is the same, right? And if you did a vertical line, okay, so we're going still, even though it's vertical, we're still going to go to the right first, and then we're going to go up first. So the first number is 3 to the right, 5 up. The next one is 3 to the right, 6 up. The next one is 3 to the right, 8 up, and the last one is 3 to the right and 9 up. Okay, again, all of these have the same x value, and all of these have the same y value. All right, let's go ahead and get into the actual coordinate grid. Okay. All right, so this is activity 11.2, and it's called the coordinate plane or the coordinate grid. So you have these 4 points on here. So number 1 says label each point on the coordinate plane with an ordered pair. And I'm going to do these in a different color than the dots, even though the dots are black. All right, so let's start with A. So A, remember we're always going X first, Y second, no matter what, no matter which direction we're going. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 hops to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4 hops up. So you're going to have 3 and then 4. Remember, this is your X, this is your Y. All right, so then the next one we're looking at is B. Actually, I want to do the 3 to the right and 4 hops up. So now I'm going to do the next one in a different color. So now this one, even though we're going negative for B, we're still going to do our Y or our X first and then our Y. So for B, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4 hops. So that's going to be -4 because we're going to the left. And then 1, 2 hops up. So that's a +2. All right, questions so far? Please write them down and then we can go over them during our Zoom lesson. All right, C. So again, we're going X first. So we're going to go to the left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be a -5 is our X. And then we're going down 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be -3 down. Okay, and then the last one. Again, we're going X first, and then we're going to go Y. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and then 1, 2 down. So that's going to be a -2. Okay, so those are the 4 different points. And I used different colors and I showed the hops just because visually it kind of helps us. And I could even say first and then second. We'll go back and do that with all the colors. We do this first and then second. We do this first and then second. And then we do this first and this second. Okay, so remember, it's always right or left first and then up or down second. All right, so number 2 says, what do you notice about the locations in ordered pairs of B, C, and D? How are they different from the points for A? So looking at our points in their different locations and looking at our ordered pairs, what do you notice about point A that is different than point B, C, and D? I'll give you a second to think about that. Okay, and what you should notice is that B, C, and D all have a negative number and A doesn't. Okay, so that's the difference between those 3 points. All right, number 3 says plot a point at -2, 5, label it E, and then plot another point at 3, -4.5, label it F. So we're going to use 2 different colors. All right, so point E is going to be -2, 5. So my -2 is my x and my 5 is my y. So you should be thinking, okay, I'm going to be going to the left first because negative is to the left of the 0. And then 5 is a positive number, so we're going to be going up. So we're going to go 1, 2, because that's -2. And then we're going to go 5 hops up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is F. Okay, and I know it's kind of hard to see because there's a couple different colors on the line. And then the next point, I'm sorry, that should have been E, my fault. And then the next point we're going to do is F. And that point is going to be 3, -4.5. This is X, this is Y. So what do we notice about our X? It's a positive. So I'm going to be hopping 3 to the right. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to be going down -4.5. So I'm going to jump 1 full, 2 full, 3 full, 4 full, and then half. So that is going to be point F. Okay? Any questions about plotting those 2 points? Okay, I'm going to give you a second to kind of get that all in there in your brains. Think about it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the second part of this activity. So it says the coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants. Quadrant, this is, just in case you don't know Roman numerals, this is 1. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, as shown here. We always start in the first quadrant and we always end in the fourth quadrant, and we go this way. So you go counterclockwise, which is the opposite of the direction of the clock. So the clock goes this way. When you're doing your coordinate grid, it's going the opposite way. Something else that you need to remember is that this is positive and this is positive. This is negative and this is positive. This is negative and that is negative. And then this is negative and this is positive. And that will come in later when we get into looking at our coordinate pairs and whatnot. All right, so it says in which quadrant is G located, H located, and I located. So go ahead and take a minute and figure out which quadrants each of those are going to be in. Okay, so what do you notice about G's numbers, or G's ordered pair? This is X, this is Y. 5 is a positive number, and 2 is a positive number. So which one has both the X and the Y positive? That would be quadrant 1. So technically, if I plotted this point, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, and that is where G would be. Okay, so G is in Q1. Okay. H, if you're looking at those numbers, so this is my X, this is my Y, and they're both negative. So which one has 2 negatives in it? You should notice quadrant 3. But just in case, we're going to go over 1, and then we're going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would technically be H. What quadrant is that in? That's in Q3, or quadrant 3. And then the last one is 7, negative 4. So our x is positive, but our y is negative. So this is a plus, this is a minus. So which one do we have where we have a positive x but a negative y? That's going to be quadrant 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go down negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is I. And that one falls in quadrant 4, or Q4. Okay, so that is using your numbers to help you identify where your quadrants are, as well as just plotting them and identifying. Remember, Q1 is always in the top right, then it goes to Q2, which is in the top left. The bottom left is Q3, and the bottom right is Q4. All right, so now the second part of that one is B. A point has a positive y coordinate. In which quadrant would it be? So if y is positive, so then we're going to look, okay, well, here's a positive y. Do you see any other positive y's? Okay, so both of these have a positive y, right? So really, that could be, the answer for that one could be what? Should be quadrant 1 or 2. Okay, so the answer for that one actually has 2. It can be quadrant 1 or 2 because both sides are a positive number. That's why I said it's important that you kind of get used to seeing those and understanding that. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to activity 11.3. And this one is a little bit more of a fun activity because we're going to be looking at a coordinate plane. And we're going to have to be essentially figuring out some locations of certain points. All right, so it says here is an image of an archery target on a coordinate plane. The scores for landing an arrow in the colored regions are as shown. Now I do apologize because this is a black and white copy, so it's hard to see. But let me go. This is green. This is blue. This is red. And this is, I don't have a yellow, so we're just going to write yellow here. Okay. All right, so, and it tells you the points for each. For yellow, it's 10 points. For red, it's 8 points. For blue, it's 6 points. For green, it is 4 points. And then the outside one is 2 points, which is white. All right, so it says name the coordinates for a possible landing point to the score. So the first one is 6. So 6 points is blue. So there's going to be more than one answer, but we're going to, we're only going to show one for the example. So one of them could be -2, -4, okay, because that falls in the blue one. So it would be -2, -4. Okay, 2 points is the white one. So where could, anywhere in this area out here. So let's pick, I'm sorry, I went to 3. That's what I meant. So let's do, we're not going to go right or left. We're just going to stay here. So our x is actually 0 because we're not going either direction. We're just going to go down to -4. So when you don't move or you have a 0, you don't go right or left or up or down depending on where it falls. All right, 10 points. So 10 points is yellow, so we have to get to a yellow dot. So we're going to go -4 all the way down to -4. Okay, both of those are a negative. So negative and a negative. And then no points. So we did not get in the white, the red, the blue, the green, or the yellow for that one. So that can be any number that is not close to the target. So that one could be, we could do 2, let's do 2, positive 2 for that one. So it's going to be 2, 2. All right, now these 5 and 6 I want you to do on your own. So I'm going to give you a minute to see if you can't find some points. All right, so number 5 is 4 points. We know that's green. So let's go over to -2. And let's go, we're just going to hit the corner. -1. Okay, and then the last one is 8 points. And 8 points is red. So we have to find the red one. So we're going to go over to the left 3. So it's going to be -3. And then let's do -5. Okay, so essentially -3, -5 is right there. All right, so again, just kind of plotting points, and these are not the only answers. These are just some of the answers. There are lots of different answers for this one. If you have any questions, please make sure that you have them written down and you are ready to share and talk about them in our live Zoom session. All right, see you later.